again, with more CEOs stepping down, more, and then we got a big one for you. What's going on if you ain't heard about it? All right, you got Maybank Group CEO steps down. Get this camera here view a little bit. All right, tomorrow the chief executive of Malaysian Maybank Group will step down at the end of his current contract. All right, so we got a bank, one of Malaysia's big banks. This group is stepping down as well. All right, then we got a little bit more here. So right there, FC CEO resigns on the New Year's Eve. So we got more CEOs that are resigning in December about what's going on, what is really taking place. All right, we got major CEOs for some companies you've heard of, some you haven't heard, and they're all stepping down. All right, FC's CEO resign is stepping down as well too. All right, let's take a look at Patrick Enright Jr. stepping down. He stepped down on December 31st. Once again, something's going on. All right, and they're out of Sarasota Springs. All right, and then we got our big one here, what we want to talk about. Let's go down a little bit. All right, FDIC chairman Jillian McWilliams resigns. All right, she according to the article here, resigns following a public fight with Democratic board members over control of the FDIC board. All right, the Federal Depository Insurance Company. Something's going on internally here in the U.S. What's going on? But look at the head of the FDIC. All right, they're the ones who govern all the banks. When they come and take over a bank, they take over, but they wait until the bank closes, or they wait till the wee hours in the morning, and they come in right when the bank's getting ready to open, or just before they close. They like to do when it's closing. They come in and they take control of the banks. All right, they have their own website. They have their own pages where the FDIC has come in and take control of the board of the bank. All right, just go to the Federal Reserve Board's website. All right, or you never know, they might be merged to the Treasury. All right, but that's something big. FDIC chairman resigns. They publicly say despite with Democrats, but we got to get into the article more and more and do some more research about what's really going on. All right, but that's the major big one about the FDIC chairman resigns. All right, let's get to some actual news here. Some more news. All right, coming out of Iraq, the central bank takes action against a number of banks. All right, central bank announced of Iraq Wednesday the suspension of all operation activities of non-compliant banks. A statement by the banks, which NRT Arabic received today. All right. Board of Directors Central Bank hosted during its session on December 29th, the President of the Association of Iraq Private Banks and its statements. All right, they got a little article here. All right, we can get into that one just a little bit of article. We're going to keep moving after that. All right. The plan adopted by the Central Bank in early 2021 to reform the sectors and the direction of the Board of Directors to take corrective administrative actions for the purpose of compliance by some banks with controls and instructions before proceeding with legal proceedings against them. All right, get into this article here. They came up with a policy for all the banks in Iraq to abide by, and if any like got most banks here in the U.S. who's supposed to be compliant by Basel III, by December 31st, by January 1st, they're supposed to be compliant. If they're not compliant, then they got some issues coming with them. Same thing happened in Iraq. They were told by their central bank to get their act together, and if they didn't by a certain time, the deadline, then then that was it. They got some issues coming to them. Okay. All right. Get into this article more. This is from searchfordinar.wordpress.com. All right. Searchfordinar.wordpress.com. All right. So, the Rocket banking system got some issues going on. If they weren't compliant by their central bank telling them, and they got some major issues coming. All right. And we're gonna stick with Iraq for a little bit here. All right, Iraq officially joins the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. All right, when they joined this bank here, and that basically told us that here the so-called West, that they're leaving the SWIFT system. The U.S. and the Western countries can go kick rocks, and they're joining the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. All right, or they call it the CHIPS. All right, so look more into this one. More and more people are leaving the SWIFT system. All right, and they joining the Asian investment banking system. All right. Basically, all the Asian countries got together, and they all the countries over there, and they said, "All right, we're gonna get away from the SWIFT system. It's too corrupt, everything else, and we're joining this Asian Instruction Investment Bank, where you have to show up with the money, you have to have it already set up and good to go." All right, and we've actually covered some of this in the past. Go back and look in the archives. All right, how they have two parties and there's a third party involved with it. All right, and you basically you pay you set up the deal, you good to go. It's made with gold. It's made in precious metals. You show the precious metals at the deal. The third party or the go-between actually takes control of that actual precious metals. They hold it, and then when the project is finished and you're satisfied with it, they transfer the money over to the party who actually did the work for you, or your or who sent you the products that you asked for to pay for it. All right. So that's how they went. No more of this. We're gonna hold this for 3 days and make sure it's good to go to where they can go in and steal it, invest it, try to put the money back in 3 days. All right. Nope. It's upfront. Everybody sees it's there, and it is held in a third party, secure party that will not spend it because that makes both parties account. That makes both parties will punish the go between. All right. So go and get it. Go and get this article. That is from search for dinar, the number 4 dinar.wordpress.com. All right. And then we stick a little bit overseas here. Turkish central bank says to support conversion of gold deposits to lira. All right. So more and more countries have seen what's going on with these fiat currencies. Yes, we covered Turkey a little bit around this on this news site in this broadcast, and we see that Turkey has some major financial issues. But even they've decided to go ahead and say, okay, we're now supporting. You can deposit gold, conversion of gold deposits to lira. All right, so you can take your gold and you can go get lira for it. All right, this is kind of how you did it had in the U.S. before Franklin Roosevelt got the United States in 1933 and confiscated all the gold. All right, but this time you can go to Turkey, and if they go ahead and implement it, you can take your gold and you can deposit and then get lira for it. All right, you probably get more lira than you want, or can you afford to have because the country is actually looking to buy gold. Remember, that's behind the vaccines. That's not vaccine. That's behind the scenes about what's going on. If they're saying you can deposit gold and get lira for it, that means they're looking for people to go ahead and turn in their gold so they can actually take the government can take the gold and start saving the country as a whole or their whole economy, the government issues. All right. So go ahead and get more of this article here. That is from Reuters.com. All right. Reuters.com. All right, and then countries, we got another article here. This is from RT.com. All right, RT.com. All right, countries accelerates shift away from U.S. dollar. All right, more and more countries, and this we talked about this earlier here. We haven't said it for a while, but the United States is losing the world's reserve currency status. All right, more and more nations are getting out of the dollar. They're trying to getting their dollars away left and right, or they taking their treasuries, which is supposed to be the AAA pristine thing, and they're using that to buy gold, or they're just flat out getting out of the dollar, selling all their treasuries, and having the U.S. to have the force to go back into the treasury markets or treasury auctions and buy we've been buying our own debt. All right, the Federal Reserve, the U.S. Treasury, for the past few years have been buying our own debt. Nobody shows up for these debt auctions, and they've been forced to stuff to the gills to buy their own. But we've been buying our own gold. All right, that will not be in the news. We're going to get this article and many more articles, and you'll see behind the scenes we've actually been buying our own debt because nobody trusts us anymore, and this has caused that major shift away from the dollar, all right, from the U.S. dollar, all right, and they're looking for more alternatives like the SWIFT system, the BRICS. They got their act together, all right, and they're buying. No longer are they using the dollar as in trade, all right. When you hold a world's reserve currency status, that means your money is actually the world uses your money to buy to settle international trades. All right, all right. So that's what it means when you hold the world's reserve currency status. All right, nations have to buy your money to settle international trade. All right, many countries are they're sick of the U.S. Are sick of us, and they're doing their own thing. All right. So I'm going to get this article here. That's from RT.com. All right, RT.com. All right, and then for our final story today, why are central banks buying gold? We cover this more and more, but we're gonna keep covering it, all right? Because you won't hear this on the so-called whatever they call themselves, the mainstream media. You won't hear it, but more and more central banks are buying gold, all right? And they're telling us that they don't need any, we don't need any gold or something. Just go and look at what that article from Ben Bernanke when he said gold is a dead relic. There's no need to store it. You can just get rid of it. That's because they were trying to get us plebeians to go ahead and say, okay, we don't need our gold. We can just sell it and give it away, and the central banks will take it off. All right. Get into article a little bit. Gold reserves and central banks currently stand at a 31-year high as banks lower their exposure to the United States dollar and increase their gold reserves. Gold reserves they hold. Remember, I'm gonna go over this one more time. Banks lower their gold reserves and central banks currently stand at a 31-year high as banks lower their exposure to the U.S. dollar. All right, and increase their gold reserves they hold. All right. Unlike the dollar, gold is not dependent on the economy of a nation and does not expose the holder at risk that other financial assets do. All right. This is just a tidbit of what's going on, but get that snapshot I just said here. All right. Even the banks know that the dollar is losing its current world reserve currency status, or has already lost it, and they're saving themselves. All right. Wake up, folks. See what's going on. All right, and get yourself ready. Save your family, save your purchasing power. All right. The central banks are doing it. They know the dollar is cooked, and we need to get ourselves together too. All right. So with that being said, I want to thank you for joining us in another edition of Melon News. Be safe, be sound, take care of yourself. All right. Take care of your families, take care of your neighbors. Get together as a communities and get together from communities to other communities. All right. Remember, you're your own best financier. You're your own best credit union. Your own best savings and loans. You are your own very best banker. All right. I want to thank you for joining us in another edition of Melon News. Be safe, be sound. Let's get it started.